What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news and we keep you up to date with everything that's going on, and there sure is a whole hell of a lot going on right now. It's been unprecedented historical moment after unprecedented historical moment. It seems like for the past week, for the past year, like all these Trump indictments, everything that's been going on has been just insane, if you will. And we've been trying to keep up. We've been trying to keep track. But I got this news story today. I'm sure you saw from the thumbnail that I ain't gonna lie. I searched and searched through all the corporate press articles that I could not find it from the corporate press. I had to go to the Post Millennial to get this. And so, yeah, Post Millennial is kind of the independent news site. They're not corporate press, put it that way. And honestly, I can't stand their freaking website, by the way. So if anybody from the Post Millennial happens to see this, please take some of the ads out of your damn website. It sucks. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. That's just my personal grievance with their website, because they do some genuinely good reporting. But we got this is something kind of exclusive that you're not going to hear about from the corporate press, you guys. So check this out. Police sources claim Biden suffered undisclosed medical emergency in Vegas, according to a report. Now, this was broke by Charlie Kirk. If you don't know who that is, go look him up. He's pretty good. Reports circulated on social media that President Joe Biden experienced an undisclosed medical emergency in Las Vegas on Wednesday before abruptly canceling Nevada campaign events and heading back to Delaware rapidly aboard Air Force One. Well, they put once. Air Force Once. Oops. Weird. On Sunday, Biden's X account posted a letter signed by Biden saying that he would be dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. Biden's X account on Sunday endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president. Now, as a matter of fact, there's some conspiracy around that letter. And, you know, like, I know social media is a relatively new thing, but who comes out and tells the world that they're dropping out of a presidential race on X? That seems a little bit weird, but he wrote a letter as well. That was also posted on X, and I saw a video of somebody comparing autographs. The autograph did not look like Biden's autograph. It was clearly somebody else wrote that autograph. So, plus it didn't have an official letterhead from the White House. So, put that with him just making a post on X. You know, there's no video of it. That seems a little bit odd. Wonder what's going on. Biden did always say that he would drop out if there was ever any kind of medical emergency or medical situation, you know, his health or whatever. So you got to think, what the hell happened? This report, we don't know, but we're trying to put the pieces together here. Check this out. U.S. Secret Service informed LV Metro that there was an emergency situation involving Joe Biden and to close necessary streets so that POTUS could be transported immediately to University Medical, which they began to do in earnest. Charlie Kirk posted on Monday. Then, mysteriously, there was a stand-down order, and the USSS informed local Vegas PD that they were going to medevac POTUS to Johns Hopkins, which they presumed meant fly him back east ASAP. Apparently, the rumor mill in the police department was that Joe Biden was dying or possibly already dead. But we know that to not be true. We know he got off of the plane. But they're thinking that he may have had a stroke or something like this, and this was why he just abruptly quit, just dropped out of the race, and then endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. Kirk said that he received corroborating accounts that a call went out to block streets to get Biden to University Medical Trauma Center ASAP, and then the plan abruptly changed, and they got him out on Air Force One very quickly. The dossier's Jordan Schachel worked to obtain accounts from over half a dozen law enforcement officers from Biden's security detail and others with firsthand knowledge of the incident to confirm many aspects of the story. According to the report, Biden stopped at a local Mexican restaurant called Lindo Michoacan at which point law enforcement officers were informed over radio that the president was dealing with an unspecified medical emergency. One source, per Shatchel, estimated that easily hundreds of officers and employees heard the broadcast live and set in motion emergency response procedures. Radio dispatchers reportedly requested a surge of law enforcement resources to secure the area and expedite the president's departure. According to the outlet's source, the president's team was originally planning to take the president to the University Medical Center 2 miles away, and police deployed their in-the-box emergency squads to clear the route to the hospital. Insane. Local NBC affiliate reported at the time that UMC was on standby after being alerted about the possible medical issue with President Joe Biden Wednesday afternoon while he was visiting southern Nevada. However, Biden's team decided not to bring him to the hospital, and plans were relayed to officers on Biden's detail that they would need to clear an express route to Harry Reid International Airport instead of the UMCAHG. Law enforcement redeployed its resources to get Biden out of town as fast as possible. That's very interesting. So it's like maybe they thought he was having a stroke, and then come to find out it was maybe a mini stroke or something like that, or a false alarm. It kind of makes you wonder what was going on with this. And, did this affect Joe Biden's campaign? It almost certainly did, because you put the two pieces together, and yeah, that's kind of what it looks like, y'all. That is kind of what it's looking like. Officers involved told the outlet that everyone involved acted as if the rapid response was a medical emergency, stating that a positive COVID-19 test would not have warranted such drastic efforts, which was the excuse that they gave us, that he had COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. On Sunday, Joe Biden's younger brother, Frank, told CBS, "In my humble opinion, absolutely, his brother's health contributed to the president's decision to drop out of the 2024 race." Added that he is glad for whatever time we have left. While in Las Vegas, the 81-year-old Biden had delivered the keynote address at the NAACP National Convention at the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas, which I stayed there one time. On Tuesday, before staff announced that he had been diagnosed with COVID on Wednesday and his remaining campaign events were canceled, Biden left Las Vegas on Air Force One for Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and has not been seen publicly since stepping off the plane. And he hasn't. That's why it's so suspicious, because he put out this, he's quitting on X. Right? And then the letterhead and all this other stuff. A lot of people think he died. But he's obviously not dead, and it wasn't from this, because we saw him get off of the plane. But a lot of people are speculating that he had a stroke, and that's a very good possibility. Hence the medical emergency and their rush to get him out of there. But if he really did have a stroke, that you wouldn't want to just divert and go to Air Force One and go back across the country. That's like a 3-hour flight. You would want to go immediately to a hospital, regardless. Even if, John Hopkins Hospital is way better, you don't want to take that risk of flying for 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, as a matter of fact, 4 hours, while somebody's having a freaking stroke, right? But what I'm speculating is that it was a mini stroke, and once they saw the signs that it was a mini stroke, it wasn't a full-blown stroke, they said, okay, cool, we can take care of this on Air Force One. We'll go ahead and do that, and we'll get him back home, get him back to John Hopkins or whatever. But this is definitely the reason he's dropping out of the race. It's not because he had COVID or any of that BS. None of that stuff. He had a mini stroke. I'm thinking that's what it is. Allegedly. Of course. We don't have confirmation of this. We haven't spoke to Joe Biden since then. But it's almost certain. Because Joe Biden did say that if he had some sort of medical issue, he would drop out. And guess what, folks? He dropped out. And now we've got Kamala Harris as the president. Right? She's not really the president, but I don't think Joe Biden's going to come back from this, to be honest with you folks. I mean, he might be a figurehead president, but he's definitely not putting in the work. Of course, I've been saying that Joe Biden's not the one in charge anyway. But in one of those posts on X, it was reported that somebody said that the plane was flying so fast that the plane was shaking the entire time. And as a matter of fact, if you go look at the posts on X, they made it there in like 3.5 hours when it's like a 4-hour, 15-minute flight or something like that. They shaved off like 30 to 45 minutes off the flight by hauling ass, essentially. But, I wonder what this means for the rest of his presidency. Is he going to actually resign from being the president and put Kamala Harris as the president? Like, he's only got, 6 months left till January 20th, of course. So what does this mean? If he really had a miniature stroke and he is no longer able to do the job, is he going to resign? That's the question I have for you guys down in the comment section. Is he going to resign? I'm not sure. I can't be certain of that. I have no idea. I think he should, to be honest with you. That's my personal opinion. I think he should have dropped out. He should have resigned a year ago, to be honest. Because he hasn't looked well, folks. He hasn't looked well at all. And this man does not need to be doing the job. One thing, I hate his politics. Can't stand his policy, none of that. It's garbage. It's all garbage. So maybe I'm a little bit biased in this. Sure, he needs to get out. But look at the man's 80 years old. The dude can hardly walk. He stumbles when he speaks, and it's not a stutter. Don't let the corporate press lie to you guys, folks. They love getting out there and say, oh, Joe Biden's lifelong stutter. That went away for 50 years? Yeah, right. Come on, get off of it. He didn't have a lifelong stutter. He's getting old. But they just didn't want to admit that because, oh, Joe Biden's going to be, 4 more years, y'all. Blah, 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 blah. But I really think he should resign. He should have resigned a long time ago. The dude is way too old to be doing this job. And, somebody of that age really doesn't need to be put in such a stressful position, right? That's one of the most stressful jobs in the United States, being the president of the freaking United States, right? It's an insane job to have. And you're going to put all this stress on such an old guy? Yeah, I don't think so. Age kind of doesn't matter because look at Trump. Trump is 78 years old. But he seems spry. Right? Like when he got shot at, he went down to the ground quick on purpose. He didn't fall. None of that garbage. He had the wherewithal in his brain that, okay, hell, I'm getting shot at. I need to hit the deck. And that's exactly what he did. And then he also had the awareness of what was going on to stand up with Secret Service trying to push you off a stage, to throw your fist in the air and say, fight, fight, fight. To let everybody know instantly that he's fine. He's okay. And we're going to continue this fight. Now, do you think Joe Biden would have done that? No. Joe Biden would have stayed on the ground for a while. They would have had to pick him up off of the ground and carry him out of there. Joe Biden is just too old. And he's too demented to do the job, to be honest with you. He appears to have early onset dementia, and we don't need a president with dementia, for God's sakes. But I think that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.